let me talk. Now I'm able to call you a grifter because I'm one of the best grifters. I did the Starbucks video and grifted off the left and the right at the same goddamn time. So when I see a grifter, I know a grifter. I know how to grift. It's real easy. I did it for a whole year as an experiment. That's how I got in TPUSA. Because before I was in TPUSA, I was dissing all of y'all. But that's a whole nother story. I got inside. I see what y'all was about. But the truth is, Black conservatism ain't about Black people. If it was, y'all would be having different rhetoric.
You're listening to Logic Guy After Dark. I'm your boy, Logic Guy. This is the chat show where I talk with my friends and or enemies. I let them self-identify. And today I'm talking to my friend Snake Force, who you and I go way back on Twitter. You were like probably one of my first mutuals. Back when Twitter was fun, we used to have a great time trolling people and shit posting.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember exactly when we started following each other. I mean, I think I picked you up because I was trolling the Hoteps, and I don't know how you ran across me. I'm still trying to figure that part of it out.
Yeah, I mean, I was brand new on Twitter. This was way before like Dave Rubin's super chat gate and stuff like that. So I was like, I probably had like 10 followers, but
yeah,
we had fun back then, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, just to let you know who I am. My @ is on Twitter is @SnakeForce. This is my fourth @ on this account. I started this account specifically to troll the Hoteps, and it started out as Teps are whack, and my username.
I did not know you back then. I never knew you to use that @. It doesn't ring a bell. So this is going way back.
Yeah, this was I actually started this account right after the election, because that's when I found the Hoteps. I found the Hoteps right after the election, and I've been on Twitter since like 2010, and I've had other accounts. I had to close my main account. I had to close because I had some legal problems, and that's a completely
do you want
different
to hint
episode.
at something there? I can edit it out if you're uncomfortable. But if you want to hint at something here.
It's funny because I can kind of talk about it now. There was a guy there was a hashtag called GunSense. Do you remember the GunSense hashtag?
I'm not sure I do. I was not on Twitter in 2016. I joined Twitter late 2017.
Okay, well there was a hashtag. It was called GunSense. It was where all the women like Shannon Watts and stuff like that, all the anti-gun women would go on. And they would talk, and the Second Amendment people would go in there and they'd infiltrate the hashtag and start arguing with the women. Well, it kind of got into this one guy was arguing with one of my followers, and she basically handed his ass to him in a debate. And he got pissed off, and he started just tweeting. He just started calling her a whore. And he would leave the tweets up for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then he'd delete them. And then he'd call her a whore again, just long enough for her to see it, He did that for like 3 hours one Saturday afternoon. So we started, me and a bunch of other guys, we started following this dude, and we started, harassing him like, hey.
I think what you meant is that you engaged him in intellectual debate.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so he's harassing this girl, and one of the other dudes photoshopped a picture of this dude's computer screen, and he sent it back to the dude. He's like, thanks for the IP address.
Damn.
And he
photoshopped
a bunch of tabs up there that were like Pornhub interracial tabs.
Nice.
And this dude was old, dude. He's probably in his late 50s, and he didn't know what an IP address was. He was totally freaked out.
Is this one of those guys who's like really anti interracial dating? Because I know some of those like Hotep adjacent people.
He was like an extreme right winger. He was like a 3%er. He was completely nuts. Anyway, so we all had a good laugh and we all went our separate ways, but I kept watching this dude, and he was talking to one of his buddies on open Twitter, not through a DM. He's just talking to his buddy on Twitter, and he's talking about how we set this guy up, and he's like, he goes, I'm so scared, because my wife accused me of molesting my 6-year-old daughter, and she had to go in.
Oh Jesus, this story took a turn.
I go, why did you tell this dude this if this didn't happen? So we got into a big fight. Anyway, long story short is a couple days later, I sent a very, very questionable tweet.
Okay.
And he flipped out. I mean, he flipped the fuck out. I basically said, so I
Jeez.
when you were touching, and
this story is way crazier than I thought it was going to be, man.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a really bad tweet. I like regret. I'm like, after I sent it, I'm like, oh shit, this I probably shouldn't have sent this tweet out. So
yeah.
he flips out, and all of his followers start coming after me, and they're like, and he's like, I'm gonna sue you. You just called me a pedo, and I'm like, okay, good luck, because you just admitted to me 2 days ago. You just admitted on live Twitter that you were accused of touching your daughter by your ex-wife.
So did you nuke the account from space and move on?
What's that now?
Did you then nuke your account from space and then jump to a different one?
What I did is I had, and what really freaked him out is I had a bunch of my followers that were from Europe, and they call themselves pedo hunters, and they were giving him shit too. They were saying, hey, we're gonna come after you, blah 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 blah. It turned into a big mess. So basically, this guy reached out to me, and he's like, look, he goes, you need to go into your account and you need to delete every conversation you had with this dude. Make it as hard as possible for this dude to find you. So I did that, and this is how stupid this dude was. He never did delete that tweet about saying he was accused by his girlfriend. So anyway, I'm trying to make this. This
is a classic Twitter cautionary tale, man. Everyone listening, be careful out there, guys.
Yeah, I mean, you can be sued for what you say on Twitter. So just be very. I mean, I got lucky because my lawyer said if he would have never said what he said about being accused by his ex-wife, he goes, he would have a case against you. But he opened that door. He basically told the world that he was accused of touching his daughter. So, he doesn't have a case. So basically, I talked to the attorney, and my attorney said, don't worry, if I gave it, and this guy was he was stupid enough to use his own name. He posted his own address on Twitter. He wasn't.
He posted his address on Twitter.
He would post his own. This dude was. Yeah, it was nuts.
First of all, we're way off topic here, but my curiosity is piqued. Did you have to pay the lawyer? Were you like out of pocket here?
I did have to pay the lawyer.
Holy shit, dude! Holy shit. Okay, now okay. Another question. What kind of what were you guys arguing over initially? What started the argument?
I think he was arguing with this chick about something about the Second Amendment, and And it was something. It was something.
It was if Goku could beat Naruto in a fight.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's basically it got into like how the courts work, and it turned out that she was like a legal aid. She worked for an attorney, so she knew a lot more about the court system than this dude did, and she destroyed this guy in a debate. She just I mean, it wasn't even funny.
Utterly destroyed. You love it. You love to see it. So how did you get interested in Hoteps? First of all, what are Hoteps? What's the community, and how did you get interested in it?
Okay, how I got interested in it is on one of my other accounts. He wasn't a full blown white nationalist, but he was a racist. And this was back.
This is like a reply guy who like.
Yeah, he was just. It's actually. He kind of was out of the Howard Stern community. There's a bunch of Howard Stern listeners that kind of they all talk to each other.
Okay.
And we go back and forth anyway. And this was back when remember the phrase "done to nothing" was big.
Yeah, yeah. That's like a poll thing, like didn't do nothing. It's basically
it's a 4chan.
It's a racial slur to call black people, as in I didn't do anything, didn't do nothing. Yeah.
So he was big on this, and so he was posting replies to he posted a video of Vibe High, and he was replying to Handy Mayhem, Uncle Hotep. So I'm like,
who's? So I don't know all the people. I know Uncle Hotep.
Okay,
who's Reply High? That's another like Hotep
Vibe High is Hotep Jesus.
Oh right, yeah. I remember he used to use that at. I do remember that. Come to think of it, he probably still does use it actually.
Yeah. So and they're buddies. They do a podcast together. They're buddies. So anyway, I think it's called Hotep's Been Told Ya.
Oh, okay. All right. That's kind of like a very like 2005 reference there, like Ben Told Ya.
Yeah. So I'm like, I go to Uncle Hotep's YouTube channel, his videos, and I'm just like, this guy is a grifter. This guy doesn't believe a fucking word he's saying. And I'm just like, I gotta dig into this dude. So like I said, I know how to do searches on. So I went back from the very beginning of his Twitter account, and I went through his whole page, and I think it's pretty consistent with Hotep Jesus. It's they really didn't start doing this stuff until Ferguson. The riots in Ferguson.
Was that kind of where his like fame came from? Because I don't remember when I first heard of him.
When up until Ferguson, all Uncle Hotep used to tweet about was NBA, rap music, and porn stars. That's all he tweeted about.
Okay.
Until Ferguson, until Michael Brown. Okay. And then they started tweeting about Ferguson, and I think and Vibe High was the same way, because I went through Vibe High's tweets too, and he was pro Michael Brown. He was
and Hotep Jesus was anti Michael Brown.
No, they were both kind of pro Michael Brown. They were both like, but I think they realized when the riots started, they're like, hey, wait a minute, white people are really mad about this. They're really mad about what's going on. So we could get a grift going where we're like right wingers and we're on the side of them, and we can, be like their buddies and get some clout and possibly some money. So that's when that's when I noticed they started doing all this stuff. So I'm like, I gotta start trolling these two, but I wasn't gonna do it from my account. I told you that I had all the trouble from. So I like basically, I locked that account, I created this account I got now. And I started trolling Uncle Hotep. And I said, you're a grifter. You're just trying to get money out of the white conservatives, because you know that if you talk bad about black people. And one of the things that Uncle Hotep used to say is used to call he called I'm going to use some very colorful racial language here, but this is what they use. He used to call black people akatas. He used to call them shines, and he'd call them nignogs.
Okay, so two of those. The last one's self-explanatory. What's a kata?
It's kind of like a derogatory. It's a derogatory thing to call like Africans.
Oh, okay. I haven't.
Call them akatas. Yeah, I can't remember where it originated. I'd have to look it up, but yeah, it's like a derogatory. It's a derogatory term to call Africans. And the phrase nignog comes from that Samuel L. Jackson movie. I can't remember what the name of the movie was, but that's where they got it from. And that's him and Vibe High used to. They would sit there and call black people these names, and the white conservatives would come running because it validates Vibe High and Uncle Hotep validated their racism.
Right, and that's like the appeal of like the Candace Owens types and people like that. Like you can have Candace Owens come on Fox News and she can say things that Tucker Carlson or I don't know the others' names, they couldn't get away with saying.
Exactly. So I start trolling Uncle Hotep, and he's. And I didn't have any followers. I had maybe 5 or 6 followers, and I just started needling him, just started jabbing him.
Yeah.
And I started getting
kind of like my relationship with Dave Rubin. So it's all coming back. Yeah. I can identify with this. Yeah. So did you bait him? Did he respond to you?
Well, this is where it gets really good, because Hotep Gate happened on May 1st, 2017.
Okay, mark it in your calendars.
Yeah, this is where all hell broke loose. And by this time, I was making videos. I had a YouTube channel. I started a YouTube channel, and I was making videos. And this is where things get really crazy, and it's really weird because of what's going on now with COVID. I'm like, okay, I got to make video, but I can't just show my face because I'm a pasty-faced white boy. And if I just go on there, they're going to completely disregard everything I say. They're just going to say, white boy, what? So what I did is I put a mask on and put sunglasses on and a hat on. And I just did like quick, like 2-minute videos, just jabbing at them, just going, you're a fraud. You don't believe any of this bullshit. You're just doing this to get the white man's money. You know, blah 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 blah. You know, why do you call black people nignogs? Why you so disrespectful? Just stuff like that. And I was getting a few followers from it, but I really wasn't blowing up.
Yeah.
But I kept at it.
Did he ever? Did he respond to you, or was it just like radio silence?
No. We'd go back and forth on Twitter.
Okay.
We'd go back and forth on Twitter. So I sent a tweet out one day. I said, and this was like, I think it was like 4 days before Hotep Gate. I sent a tweet out and I said, I firmly believe that the Hoteps are being funded by the Koch brothers and or the Liberty Alliance, especially at Handy Mayhem, which is Uncle Hotep. And then I put hashtag right-wing shills. And I sent that tweet. He immediately jumped in his car and made a response video, used my tweet as a thumbnail. It's always got to be in
the car. These guys love to
and I love car rants. I love car rants because it's just, you got somebody pissed off when they jump in their car and they're going to make a video in their car. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and he used my tweet as a thumbnail, and that's when, because it was like, because he had a pretty decent sized YouTube channel.
Yep.
So he's using my tweet as a thumbnail. So then I start getting followers. People are like, oh, what's this guy about? Blah, 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 blah. So, then a few days later, I'm sitting in my house, and this is when I still had Twitter on my phone. I took Twitter off my phone because I was on Twitter like 8 hours a day. It was
I did the same thing. I did the same thing. Everyone, take Twitter off your phone, guys. I cannot stress this enough. Take it off your phone.
Yeah, and I shut my notifications off a long time ago. So anyway, I'm sitting here watching TV on the first, and I pick up my phone. And I'm like, let's see what's going on Twitter. So I open up my account, and I've got 8 direct messages and over 20 notifications. And I'm like, I start panicking. I'm like, what did I say? What did I say? I'm trying to think, what tweet did I just send out that would cause this? So then I go into my notifications, and all I see is Hotep-gate. And people tweet me like, you were right about this, dude. You were right about this. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So I got to go to hashtag. I go to hashtag. And hashtag Hotep-gate. It's still up. Now, from this point on, I'm going to use 2 words a lot. I'm going to use allegations and allegedly. Because
right,
what Hotep-gate is about is allegedly Vibe High was DMing with an underage girl trying to get nudes from her.
And so Vibe High is allegedly that's Jesus Hotep Jesus, rather.
Yep.
Okay.
Now,
so he's grooming. He's allegedly doing the grooming.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of what I mean, people think that I started Hotep-gate, and I didn't start Hotep-gate. I happened to stumble across the Hoteps at the exact right time. It was just pure luck. So I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy. And people had DMs. I mean, there were leaked DMs. They are still on Hotep-gate. If you go to Hotep-gate, they're still up there. They are still up there. And one of the, I mean, I don't know if I want to mention.
I found someone retweeting them like last year, 2020. I'm looking at them now. But yeah, go on.
Who was retweeted? Do we want to mention people's hats on this? I mean,
yeah, why not?
Well, like the person I know that started this was a user called Malcolm Flex.
That's what I'm looking at, man. June 25th, 2020. He retweeted this.
Okay, yeah, that was because apparently him and Hotep Jesus got into a spat.
Oh, so this is a Judas. This guy, the call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, he's retweeting it last year, but Hotep-gate started in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So I go and I'm like,
2017, the most online year ever.
Yeah. So I'm reading this stuff and I'm just like, holy shit. I got to make a video about this, but I can't. I didn't want to steal Malcolm Flex's thunder. I didn't want to steal his shine because it was his barbecue, man. He's the one that started it. I'm just like, but I have to make a video. So I made a video. And again, I had the mask on and the glasses and stuff. And I made like a 2-minute video. I said, what did John Q tell you? John Q told you all about this dude. I told you what this dude was about. I was being a dick. I was just
just for so everyone knows, John Q is the handle you were using when I first met you.
Yeah. That's what they all called me. All the Hoteps, they didn't call me Teps or Whack. They called me John Q because that was my handle.
Okay.
I call myself
named
John
after named after the Denzel Washington movie.
Well, John Q Public. I couldn't think of anything else. I'm just like, I just want to be like an anonymous dude, So I'm just, what's more anonymous than John Q Public? It's kind of old school, but they called me John Q. So I went on there, and I'm like, I told you this was going to happen. I told you Vibe High's a fraud. He's playing you guys. He's a bad dude. There was a girl. Her at was Charmi Lo Dai. Her account's gone now. She's probably has a different account under a different name, but she was another one that was like, this shit's real. Vibe High's a piece of shit. Hotep Jesus is a piece of shit. So anyway, I make my video and I put it on. I put it right on hashtag Hotep, right on the Hotep gate. I put it right on the hashtag. I'm like, Hotep drama. John Q told you. John Q been told you so. And I put it on there, and it got like 150 views in like 10 minutes.
Really?
So yeah. So it went crazy. So I hadn't even got to my messages yet. So like I told you, I had 8 DMs because my DMs were open, and I'm like, okay, let me check out what these DMs are about. So I start looking at these DMs, and it's people I've never interacted with before. They're like, they're apologizing to me. They're like, hey man, I'm really sorry. We were talking so much shit about you, and you were coming after Hotep Jesus, and it turns out you were right after all. It's most of them. That's what most of them were about. They were just like apologizing to me because they felt bad because they were talking shit about behind my back. But there's one guy. There was one guy that was really close to Hotep Jesus. I'm not going to name his name because he's the one I ended up talking to the most. So
this is your informant. This is your source. You got to protect your sources.
Yeah, he's my source. So and I had interacted with him on Twitter. So we were kind of cool. We were kind of cool on Twitter, even though I was going after Hotep Jesus.
Yeah. I just want to interject. I just want to interject real quick that I too have a Dave Rubin source, and his name rhymes with Javid Dannett.
Yeah. So this guy's, he's beyond apologetic. I mean, he's like really, he's like, and so I DM him back. I'm like, hey bro, it's all good, man. I go, don't worry about this shit, dude. It's this shit is not serious to me. And he's like, no, man. He goes, I really take pride in, I don't like talking shit behind people's back. And I was talking mad shit about you, and it turns out you were right, and this and that. And I'm like, hey bro, I said, it's all good. Don't get mad. I go, I love the fact that you were talking shit about me. That means I was being effective. And that was my whole point, was to get you guys fucking talking. So then he comes back to me. We're having a DM conversation. I mean, we're DMing with each other for this is going on for, we're probably into like the 10-minute mark of our DM conversation. So he comes out and asks me, he's like, I got to ask you a question. He goes, what was up with the mask? What was up with the mask and the sunglasses?
What kind of mask was it? Just like
it was like a mask that people are wearing for COVID.
Oh, okay. All right. It wasn't a white sheet over your head.
No, it was just a mask. It was just like a
medical mask. A medical mask. Got it.
Yeah, because at my job where I work, we have masks available for people to wear. So it was just a medical mask.
Got it. And so what did you tell him?
So he goes, I got to ask you, what's up with the mask and the sunglasses? And I said, look, man, if I would have just come out there, just regular white boy, you guys wouldn't have gave me a second look. I go, I did it for theatrics. I did it to piss you guys off. He goes, it worked. It worked like a charm. And he goes, you're right. He goes, if you would have made those videos without the mask, they would have never given you a second look.
Now wait a minute. I got to do my job here, and I got to push back because this kind of connects to last week's theme. What about the fact that you are doing digital blackface to infiltrate black spaces?
What do you mean digital blackface?
I don't know where. Teen Vogue wrote an article called "Digital Blackface." I don't want to summarize it. I don't want to summarize it, but I think that they're like when they said digital blackface, they were talking about like dumb stuff like using emoji, but you were actually like obscuring the fact that you're white to gain influence.
Here's the thing. I mean, you could see enough of me to tell I was white.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like I was completely blocking my face out. I mean, you could see that I was a white boy. I was a face-to-face white boy. It's just that.
What about that pissed them off? What about them like? What about that got your hooks in them?
I don't know. I never. To be honest with you, I really didn't care why it pissed them off. Mm-hmm. It's just I'm glad it did. And it's I'm like really, you guys were that upset that I was wearing a mask? He's like, well, it really was. I go, yeah, it was theatrics, bro. It was meant to it was something different. It was like, okay, who's the guy with the mask?
Imagine if you had done the videos with the Doomcock mask. I gotta send you a picture because this joke doesn't work without the picture. Hold on. You should have made the videos with that guy's mask would have they would have gone insane. They would have pulled their hair out.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna buy a Guy Fawkes mask, anonymous mask, but I'm like, nah. I go, that's played out. 2000.
That's true.
That's like 2015.
Yeah.
But what I did, I just wanted to, most of the stuff was stuff I did at Spirit of the Moment. I was like sitting in my living room watching a hockey game or something. And I'm just like, I'll start making videos about this guy, but I got to do something different. So anyway,
yeah.
To get back to my,
Go on.
To get back to my DM conversation with this guy, I'm like, so I start asking this. I go, I'm kind of getting the vibe. So I'm asking. I'm like, how much shit were you guys talking about me? He's like, bro. He goes, everybody was talking about you in that community. For the topic of conversation, he goes, people weren't engaging with you, weren't tweeting you. They were talking about you behind your back. Nice. DMs and stuff like that. It was off the hook.
Oh man. And, the best is when they try to make it out like they're ignoring you, but they tip their hat. They have like a Freudian slip that reveals that like, no, you're in their heads. Like I'm pretty sure Tim Pool watched my my video with Tim Pool clips on this channel. Like there's just certain reasons I have to believe that he watched it, and it's glorious. It's wonderful.
Yeah. So
one of the reasons that I have to believe that he watched it is that someone showed up an hour after it was posted and thumbs downed it and flagged it for using his videos. But there are other reasons I have to think that he watched it as well.
I'm sure he will tell everybody that he doesn't pay attention to the trolls, but we all know he does.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I mean, it's a fact he does because he immediately followed Tim Pool clips and they like DM back and forth. So like he's definitely like has his eye on on that stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm talking to this guy and he's like every like third or fourth DM he's apologizing again. I'm like, bro, stop apologizing. It's all good. I'm not mad at you. I go, we were cool on Twitter before this. We're cool. I go, don't worry about this stuff. This stuff, I'm not gonna start talking shit about you on Twitter and blah 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 blah. So I could tell this guy wanted to cut a vein. So I asked him, I said, are these DM leaks true? He said, from everything I know, he goes, I think it legitimately happened. He goes,
wait, you mean him like DMing that underage girl, you mean?
Yeah. I asked him, I basically asked him the validity of I basically asked him the validity of Hotep. I'm like, is this real? I mean, he's like, Malcolm Flex is a pretty straight shooter, and he goes,
all right.
So I'm like,
right. We've got inside confirmation. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I mean, they're still up. I mean, like you just you told me 20 minutes ago that you went on and they're up. I mean, they're up there. I mean, everything I told you is on the Hotep Gate. I'm not telling you.
Right. Yeah. We're talking about stuff that's public record. Yeah.
It's out there. Like I said, allegedly. I mean, to my knowledge, he's never been questioned by the authorities or anything like that. So I start.
Okay.
So I want to caution your listeners. Hotep Jesus has a website called Hotep Nation. I would caution everybody not to go to that site because I don't know if he's logging IP addresses and mining data. So I wouldn't go there. But I start asking that when I'm DMing with this guy, I start asking him stuff. I said, hey, I got a DM from somebody that said, because Hotep Jesus used to be on the 50 Cent street team, his marketing team for his energy drink.
I remember he used to have in his bio, it said like digital marketing or something like that.
Yeah. So he was on 50 Cent street team. I'm DMing with this guy, and I said, I got a DM from somebody. Well, there was on Hotep Nation. Vibe High, the Vibe High runs that website. He put on there a bunch of pictures of him in Africa.
Who's Africa?
Yeah, the continent of Africa. Yeah, I don't know exactly which country they were in, but
okay, I've heard of it.
The 50 Cent street team went to Africa for some reason, and
probably to sell energy drinks.
Yeah,
I mean he's the world's best energy drink tycoon. So
yeah. So anyway, obviously Vibe High, Hotep Jesus is part of this street team, so he went with. So anyway, he posted pictures on his Hotep Nation website of him in Africa, and he said he went there on a Hotep mission.
Okay.
He made it sound like he went there by himself to promote the Hotep Nation.
Okay, now this is a great point to interject with a question that I should have asked earlier, which is like what defines a Hotep? Like, is there an ideology? Like, what do they believe?
It's really weird because it's hard to pin him down because he is so fluid depending on who he's talking to.
Basically, kind of like a grifter. Interesting.
Yeah, like a grift. Yeah, this whole thing is a fucking grift, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things.
Where does the name Hotep come? Do you know where the name Hotep comes from?
It's some Egyptian thing.
Yeah. I see. That's what I thought, that they were like grounded in some kind of like African I don't know, like nationalism or something.
Yeah, it's and they kind of they take bits and pieces of different, they'll take bits and pieces of Marcus Garvey, of Garveyism, take bits and pieces of Malcolm, take, and they'll kind of mash them all together. And,
Okay.
one of the things I got into, before Hotep Gate broke, one of the big arguments me and Hotep Jesus got in is on his Hotep Nation website. He posted a article about if you're a black man, what to do if you get pulled over by the cops. Kind of, yes, sir. Just the typical obey and comply bullshit that white conservatives say. And one of the things that Uncle Hotep and Hotep Jesus back then were always talking about was there's no such thing as white supremacy. Stop using white people as a crutch. Just the exact shit that white conservatives want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So I got into an argument with him on Twitter. I'm like, hey, bro, I got to ask you a question. If white supremacy doesn't exist, why did you put a blog post on your website telling black men what to do when they get pulled over by a white cop? It doesn't make any sense. If white supremacists
maybe the blog post said to follow all the cops' instructions.
Yeah, it did. It was.
Okay.
It was. I'm just like.
Well, I guess that's what they tell you to do, anyways. Yeah. Never mind.
So I'm like, we're kind of arguing, and I'm like, Hotep Jesus, I'm a white guy. White people don't ever have this conversation with each other about what to do when we get pulled over by a cop because we don't ever have to worry about it. This is my whole point is you are sitting there saying white supremacy doesn't exist. Then you go and basically put a blog post on your website saying white supremacy does exist. You need to watch yourself when you're getting pulled over by the quote unquote white man cop. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So kind of went back and forth on that. So anyway, get back to my DM conversation with this guy. I kind of said, hey, somebody told me that those pictures he put on his website from Africa are actually when he went there with 50 Cent. He goes, yeah. He goes, that's the hustle. That's part of his grift. He's, he starts going on and on. So then he's like, look, he goes, I got to tell you something else. He goes, when you get Uncle Hotep to respond to you and make videos about you, he goes, Uncle Hotep doesn't respond to anybody. He goes, he's made like 3 videos about me. So this DM conversation went on for back and forth for like a couple days. And in the meantime, Uncle Hotep made a car video about Hotep Gate. And he's talking about why, to look for. And then like about 6 minutes into the video, he brings me up personally. He's like, you got this shine, John Q, making videos talking about, I told you so. I told you Vibe High and Uncle Hotep were frauds. I told you, and he was like legitimately mad. So he's doing his little car rant. He gets to the end of his rant. He's like, I got to plug my channel and this and that. And he starts plugging his Patreon. And he's like, I got a message for John Q. He goes, I want you to send me at least $1 because you've been eating off Hotep for the last 3 months. And then he goes on. He goes, we have a anti-Hotep industry sprung up, and John Q's the leader. He's the first one that started this stuff. He goes, I don't fault John Q for that. He's just trying to get ahead. So he basically named me. He basically came right out and said, the anti-Hotep movement in 2017 was started by John Q. Basically, so I mean, he said it. I mean, the video's still up. I can link the video. He's still got the video.
But do you take credit for that? Do you is that true? Start it.
I do take probably 70% credit for it.
Okay, that's a lot of credit. Okay, Logic Guy here. We had some technical problems around here, so there's a bunch of audio that's missing. But to bring you up to speed, we start talking about Hotep Jesus's book titled The Unbreakable Rules for Masculinity, learn how to make nearly any woman submit to you and practically beg for it too. So now you're up to speed on what's missing. There are 79% 5-star reviews out of 18 ratings. So here we go. Oh no, you're wrong. You're wrong about your blanket statement about there being no user reviews, because there was one added in February 16th, 2021, and it says, "Yo, this truth is on point. Another great book to read. I highly recommend it." And that is Amazon user Lo-Sakeo. Let's see if there's any more here. That is the only one. There's one user review added this year, like last week, and it's positive. He's got nice things to say. When did the book come out?
Did it come out a couple years ago?
Yes, it did. December 11th, 2019.
Yeah.
I think there'd be more ratings for a 2-year-old book, you know, or over a 1-year-old book at least. Yeah, come on, Brian. Let's do some of that digital marketing to get the word out. You know what I mean? Like, how many Twitter followers does he have?
He's got a lot of Twitter followers, but most of them are bots.
Right. Yeah. That's why he can't move the book, because he's got all bots. That's why you don't fuck with bots. There's no payoff for it. 177,000 followers. Yeah. Yeah. And then what are his impressions like? Let's see. Yeah, his most recent tweet has 52 likes. Yeah, he ain't shit.
Yeah. So.
Oh my god, he constantly retweets himself too. He's one of those guys.
Yeah, the dude's. I mean, he sent a tweet out the other day. He said, "I can make a case for reparations for white people."
I think I saw that. Yeah, right. Did he actually make the case, or did he just
I don't
make
know.
Some promises?
He blocked me after Hotep Gate. After I made my actually he blocked me after because when Uncle Hotep made his car video when he called me a leader of the anti-Hotep movement, I made a response video to Uncle Hotep, and this time I'm like, okay, I don't need to wear the mask anymore because there's no point in it. So I made a video. I said Uncle Hotep puts John Q on blast, unmasking of John Q. I did like a 3-minute video.
You did a face reveal.
Just railing on Uncle Hotep. I'm like, you're gonna sit in your car and you're gonna talk that shit about me when I was 100% right about you guys. You know, I went off and I said in the end of the video, I said, I know you guys are upset about me wearing a mask, but you need to worry less about what I look like and more about the words coming out of my mouth.
That's some fucking John Wick shit right there, man. Yo, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this Hotep Jesus tweet, and he's saying it's from 4 hours ago, and he's saying, "What's missing from tonight's topics?" And here are the topics he's going to discuss. Young Pharaoh banned from CPAC. Biden drops the N-bomb. I didn't hear about that. Did you hear about that?
I did not hear about that.
Man, sounds like Biden's in hot water. I wonder if it's like on Facebook from 2013. Could be. Biden might be in some trouble here, man. Non-binary potato head. That's been trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
Mr. Potato Head is now non-binary potato head. Hotep MC Hammer. Do you know who that is?
I have no idea who that is.
I want to that a name like that really grabs me. You know, when I'm old enough that MC Hammer was huge when I was a kid.
I wonder if MC Hammer said something that the Hoteps agree with.
I don't think so,
seriously.
because MC Hammer. The thing I know about MC Hammer is that he's all about the positivity.
Now you piqued my curiosity. We're getting off topic, but
Yeah.
it's MC Hammer Hotep or Hotep MC Hammer?
Hotep MC Hammer. No details given. Also, apparently, the Malcolm X case has been reopened. Jay-Z liquor sale. Don't know what that is. Asian Lives Matter. This is a hot topic. And then Bobby Shmurda home. All right. This sounds like a jam-packed show. I might listen to this. I at the very least want to find out about Hotep MC Hammer.
Yeah, I have a feeling MC Hammer said something Hotepish.
Oh no.
And they're they just, dude, when any celebrity says something remotely Hotepish,
mm-hmm.
fucking Brian Sharp just comes in his pants.
So, like, what was the last example of that, of a celebrity saying something Hotepish?
God, I can't even remember.
Is it just basically like when a black person says something kind of conservative?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And oh God, I was going to say something. Oh, there's another thing that
I just have a quick word about MC Hammer. He's been married to the same woman since 1985. I mean, that's a guy who's really into positivity, I gotta say.
One of the things I did before Hotep Gate broke is one of the things that Hotep Jesus and Uncle Hotep would do is they tell people not to buy Nikes, Adidas, because they were first of all, Nike's got a contract with
Colin Kaepernick.
A lot of police forces.
Oh, okay.
In the country.
Are they anti-police?
He was when Michael Brown first got shot.
Okay, because I noticed that on the live stream you sent me with Brandon Tatum, who is a cop or a former cop, I'm not sure. Like he was saying he was trying to like Tatum was trying to kind of play it cool, but he was basically defending shooting him. And Hotep Jesus and Uncle Hotep, they were like not having it. They were arguing against him. So that's why I asked.
Yeah, I mean, how much of that video did you watch?
Not very much.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, the whole thing is Hotep Jesus went in on Brandon from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right from the first 5 minutes. They had been going back and forth. But one of the things that before Hotep Gate broke, Hotep Jesus and Uncle Hotep would tell people not to buy Nikes and Adidas. But they do their stupid fucking videos wearing Nike shit.
Seems a little off.
So I like, they were doing video. They both sent out tweets saying don't buy Nikes and Adidas, and they both made videos. One, Uncle Hotep made one in his car. He's got a Nike shirt on, and Hotep Jesus makes a video where he's walking down the street. And he's got an Adidas fucking sweatsuit on. So I took pictures of those images from their videos, and I sent them out, and I'm like I'm confused. Are we just not buying Nike shoes? Because Nike and Adidas shoes, because you guys literally today just made videos wearing Nike and Adidas apparel. So is it okay if we buy the shirts, just not the shoes? What kind of grift are you guys running here? Oh, and they would get so pissed off at me because I'm just like, how does anybody not see this where they're telling people not to buy Nike and they're wearing fucking Nike shit?
Yeah,
it fucking irritates the shit out of me.
It seems like at the very least you can take that off when you film the video. I mean, that's the difference between that. Like that's when you know, like your audience of rubes is like fully cucked. That you can do that and like no one calls you out on it. No one says anything.
Yeah, no one says anything to you about it.
Yeah.
So anyway, to go back to my response video to Uncle Hotep when I went off on him and when I was unmasking and stuff like that, I said I ended the video saying you need to worry less about what I look like and more about the words coming out of my mouth. And I said,
Yep.
oh, another thing you should worry about is the fact that my DMs are blowing up. As soon as I put that video out, Hotep Jesus blocked me. Immediately blocked me.
Wow. So other than Hotep Jesus, who are the luminaries of this world? Who are the other big names in this? Because we all know Hotep Jesus.
In that circle,
yeah,
I think there was 4 main guys. There was Hotep Jesus, Uncle Hotep, a guy by the name of Hobbs that would sell soap.
Okay.
He'd sell Hotep soap.
Okay.
And then there was a dude named T-Cat.
T-Cat. Okay. And then what about that other guy who posted the who posted the leaks? Was that guy big at one time?
I think he was like maybe like kind of a Hotep, but not really a Hotep. Oh, he kind of like.
Okay.
I don't think he was like really part of that. I mean, there's a lot of people online.
So is it a pretty small community?
They called it a cult.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, there's cliques. They're like little cliques. I mean, it's kind of like a overreaching Hotep thing, but they're cliques. They're like, it's very high schoolish. It's very. Yeah. I mean,
what are some of the other like competing cliques? I assume that they do like dance offs in the town square.
There was I'd have to look and see if I could find it, but there was one Hotep that made a video, and he's basically like, he's a little dude. He's like maybe 5 feet tall.
Oh, okay.
He calls himself a Hotep, and he's made a video where he's telling women the only reason that you have periods is because you eat too much. And we all know, anybody that knows anything about biology from 7th grade on knows that when you're an anorexic chick, it screws up your body so bad that you stop having periods. So this dude is making a video saying it's unnatural for women to have periods. The only reason that you're having periods is because you eat too much and you're eating too many fatty foods. You need to lose weight. This is coming from some like midget dude that's like maybe 5 feet tall, and he could, but he's not part of the Hotep Jesus community. The Hotep, from what I see, they function just like any other community. You know, like Destiny's got his own little community, and Bosch has his own little community. That's how it functions. It functions exactly like that.
So they're constantly going on each other's streams and getting mad about the definition of woman. In other words.
Yeah, and they kind of go back and forth on each other. So
got it. Hold on, I got to watch this video of Joe Biden possibly saying the N-word. I'm hearing conflicting things. So the Hoteps are saying he says the N-word. Other people are saying he didn't. I got to watch and find out for myself. Well, it'll be short. It's only like 50 seconds.
Right. Look, the range of challenges Europe and the United States must take on together is broad and complex. And I'm eager to hear next from our good friends.
I got it. Leaders. In context, there's no way he said the N-word, because it just wouldn't make sense. You know, like he had some like weird sound that did sound a lot like the N-word, but like in context, it wasn't like I got to give him a pass on this one. It's just a weird sound. That's the logic guy ruling on this one.
Yeah. So getting back to the Hotep. So, Hotep Gate kind of started around the same time as Candace Owens broke out. So this would have been May 2017, and Candace Owens was breaking out like around like September 2017. Yeah, wasn't it like June or July? I thought it was early in the summer.
You know what? We can find out right now, because we can go to her YouTube channel and we can see when her first video is. Red Pill Black. Remember when she went by that?
Yeah.
I know that she did like the Dave Rubin appearance like in like September, but let's
Yeah,
take
because
a look here.
I grabbed a that because I started because after Hotep Gate I started going after her.
Oh, okay. So July 9th is her debut.
Yeah, I thought
video.
yeah, it was in July because she hit my radar and I'm just like wow, she's doing some Hotep shit, but she's not giving the Hoteps any credit. You know, she's not, you know. So I'm like, she blocked me right away. So I'm like,
September 20th, 2017, she appeared on the Rubin Report.
yeah, because that clip I still have where she's, I mean, right out of the gate, she basically says that she was apolitical, she never considered herself a liberal, that she's always been a conservative.
Yeah,
that,
right. Which
yeah,
is there's basically no evidence of that whatsoever.
Yeah, so after Hotep Gate, I started going after Candace, and I started making videos about Candace, and that's when I took down my YouTube channel because I started because at that time it was guys like Jeff Holiday, Computing Forever, a couple of those other guys. They were all focused on that stupid fucking social autopsy website she was doing.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm
she
like,
got a lot of attention for that one.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, don't pay attention to that shit. She's a fucking grifter, dude.
Yeah, but I kind of got to get Jeff Holiday's back on that one because if you're looking for evidence that she is not a trustworthy person, social autopsy is a good starting place because, and it's apolitical too. Like she's just clearly not a trustworthy person.
I totally agree. I mean, I'm not totally like trying to dog him for doing that, but those guys were doing that, but that's all they were talking about. They wouldn't talk about anything else she was doing. And I'm like, dude, I understand that the social autopsy thing is a big deal, but you need to look at what she's doing now. I go, she's a straight grifter. I mean,
that community was like so right wing at that point, you know, like Computing Forever at this point is like just, I'm pretty sure he's like an alt writer, and even Jeff, who is a cool guy, who we're both friends with him online, right? Yeah, like he's a cool guy, but like he was like still very much in like the right wing rabbit hole, like around that time. So like the politics of Candace Owens, like the deeper politics of Candace Owens, just would have been lost on that crowd. You know, I'm not trying to make excuses for them. I'm just saying that that's just not who they were at the time.
Yeah, see, because the thing I heard about Candace is she went radio silent for like 5 months before she started Red Pill Black. From what I hear is she met with Mike Cernovich.
She was in a Mike Cernovich documentary around that time called Silence. Silence. One of those. Yeah.
So they had interactions with each other.
Yeah. I mean, what I always took from that is that by meeting a guy like Cernovich, even if it wasn't like that, that's how, even if it was indirect, she was able to make contacts at Fox News. And I think her earliest appearances were like on like Jesse Waters or something like that. So by meeting with him, she was able to like get in contact with people like that.
So anyway, like I started going after her. And
around that time, she guest hosted InfoWars. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh,
what a weird time.
Yeah, because I started going after her, and I started getting.
She has since disavowed InfoWars. Like I heard her asked about it once, and she was like, "Oh, I don't even know what that is. I never even heard of it. I was the only time I ever watched it was when it was the one time I was on it. Like, okay, seems weird.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, because I must have was getting some traction with my Candace Owens stuff because I started the fucking neo-Nazis started coming after me hard. They're just like they were going into my YouTube comments going, we're gonna fuck with your channel, you know, da 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 da. They were like, I was getting like massively downvoted. I mean, just like,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
so I'm just like,
So
okay,
when you say neo-Nazis, like what do you mean?
just alt-righters, white
Okay.
nationalists. I mean,
They're not typically the biggest fans of Candace Owens, who is, after all, black.
yeah, but I mean, they're kind of she definitely like promotes their ideals. I mean,
Yeah,
what
right.
you think?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I certainly see some overlap in their politics, but yeah, I mean, she did go on before the Blair White video debate. She did go on a YouTube channel with that one person, uh, blonde in the Beast or something like that, who like is an alt-right personality. So like there definitely is some overlap there, no doubt. It's just not who I typically like. I typically associate Candace Owens much more with the conservative Inc. side than the Groyper Nick Fuentes side, personally.
Yeah, yeah. But the funny thing is where she gets tied in with the Hoteps is Hoteps. They were talking mad shit about her. They were talking mad shit about her when she first came out. Hotep Jesus was calling her the feds, calling her he's like, and to kind of.
So do you think that that's like them seeing her as like honing in on their territory?
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
They were pissed off that she was doing their grift better than she was. And this is.
Yep.
Since we're gonna wrap this up in a couple of minutes, this is why I wanted to talk about that clip I sent you a couple of days ago, because this kind of brings it full circle. Because in that clip, Hotep Jesus literally says, I ran this grift to get into TPUSA.
Yep.
Because I wanted to see what you were up to. And I was testing you guys for a year before that. He was talking shit. He'd been talking shit about Candace and Brandon for a year before that. Then he grifted his way in. He grifted his way into TPUSA.
Yep.
You know, and that's where it comes full circle. Where I'm just. I mean, like I told you the other day. I knew that he said something, but and this is the thing that really confuses me about the whole thing is I don't know if this dude's doing it for money, because he can't be making that much money off it.
Right. Yeah.
I can't figure out where he's making. No, I get the Candace Owens thing. She's got to be making mad bank.
Oh yeah. Candace Owens has a book deal. I'm sure she was paid like upwards of $1 million. Yeah.
Hotep Jesus. I mean, yeah. I mean that clip that I sent you is the most damning. I mean, he was so blatant about what he's doing. I'm just like, I don't mean to sound like really arrogant, but I'm just like, everything just came full circle. It took 4 years to get there. But this dude just admitted to doing everything that I said he was doing in 2017. Just admitted it. So that's basically what that subsection of the Hotep community, that's what they're about. They're all about grifting, making money, trying to get money from the white man. You know, doing their stupid little shirts, their stupid little sayings. You know, Hotep Jesus and Hotep will do their podcast. I don't think anybody watches it. I haven't looked at their stats, but when I looked a while ago, they weren't getting any fucking viewers. How long they've been doing it? I mean, it's just. I'm actually kind of glad I saw that clip, because it really kind of puts a stamp on it, saying, okay, the Hotep story's closed. Whether you want to talk about Young Pharaoh or not, I don't know anything about Young Pharaoh, you know, but to me, the Hotep Jesus thing is stamped on. he just openly admitted to what he's doing.
Yeah, it was a very revealing moment. Some might say a heated gamer moment, in fact, except that he was not gaming, and it was during a podcast. So this Young Pharaoh guy who got kicked out of CPAC. So he's not a guy who you like really followed, and you like he's not really as far as you know, like associated with Hotep Jesus.
I don't know if I don't know of any interaction between those two. There is one thing. There's one thing that one common thread that all Hoteps have, and this is something I talked to somebody we both follow, Gerald Holt.
Yep.
Because
I've been on his podcast.
You've been on his podcast,
friend of the
and
show.
I kind of I've interacted with him because I think he kind of picked me up messing with the Hoteps too. And the one underlying theme with all the Hoteps is they're unbelievably anti-Semitic.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And I think that's why Young Pharaoh got kicked out of CPAC.
This guy seems like more of a show. Like this guy, like his takes are fucking like off the chain. Honestly, his account is down now, but yeah. So he's got one. I'm looking at some screenshots here. He's got one that says, "I'm getting ready to expose Israel, Wayfair, and much more." Wayfair, that's like a QAnon conspiracy thing. A lot of the content towards the Jews will be posted inside of my website, youngpharaoh.net. Everyone head right over to youngpharaoh.net right now to see what he's doing. But he had a really good one that I liked. Yeah, here we go. COVID-19 testing and #vaccination, gateway to artificial intelligence and transhumanism. But he had another one too that it's not even here. See, all this stuff has been lost to time. He had one saying that Black people shouldn't take the COVID vaccine because they have alien DNA. I kept reading it over and over again, being like, "What the fuck is going on here? How do you end up accidentally inviting this guy to CPAC?"
And I mean, Young Pharaoh sounds like Hotep Jesus, because if you watched Hotep Jesus's appearance on Rogan, that dude's talking insane stuff. I mean, it's just I'm like, where do you get this stuff from? And I really don't think a lot of these guys believe it. I think they do it because the way social media is set up nowadays, you have to be so extreme to get any attention. And it's just everybody's trying to one up everybody.
Yeah. And it's a perfect environment for, as you said, narcissists and grifters. Is there anything else we should cover before we sign off?
No, that's it, man. I appreciate you having me on, and I'm glad I finally got to talk to you. I mean, we've been following each other for gotta be 4 years now, so it's kind of cool.
I've only been on Twitter for well, I guess this will be my 4th year actually. Yeah, shit. So going on 4 years. You're right. I mean that's what this show is for, you know, like just kind of giving me an excuse to talk to people online and have conversations you couldn't have on Twitter, you know. That's what this is for, man. Thanks for coming on and sharing your knowledge with the Logic Gang. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks. Thanks for having me.